if I had to describe this game, I would say it's one big giant circle jerk of empathy. It really is. You're the giver and you're the receiver, and for whatever particular reason, the people at Naughty Dog or the people who wrote this expects you to mouth wide and just fucking take it, and then be all like, I understood why you did that. I understand you because I was in your shoes. I too understand. We all understand one another. I forgive you, sir, for what you did. I didn't like what you did, but I forgive you. Was it as deep for you as it was for me? Actually, Bill, it was a little deeper. But I caught all the profound. There's deep and there's profound, and I got both of it. And therefore, 10 out of 10, this was an excellent game. And anybody who disagrees with me, they're either a bigot, entitled, didn't play it, or just didn't get it. I'm definitely not getting a sense of superiority from people who enjoyed the game at all. At all. All right. What is up, everybody? I'm that guy, Bry, and today we are going to discuss The Last of Us Part 2. Now, I finished up 2 days ago, and I had to do a lot of thinking about it. I needed a couple days to really think about it, take a walk, walk around the block, walk down the beach, stare off into the sunset, look out the window. As the Florida rain dropped down the window pane, I had to really think about it and come to the conclusion that I didn't really like it. I didn't really like it. You see, I don't know how to really explain why I didn't like it. But I did my best. I wrote some things down, and I'm going to do my best. How do I say this? I like ice cream. I like ice cream a lot. And I go to one of my favorite ice cream parlors to give me some ice cream. But as I approach the place and I go, "Hey man, let me get some ice cream." I waited 7 years expecting to see a conclusion of the father and daughter relationship between Joel and Ellie. I wanted to see some growth. I wanted to see a deeper bond. But instead, I get an estranged, awkward relationship because Joel saved her life and Ellie is pretty much an ungrateful little bitch about it.
Look, what about them?
You worry about yourself.
Let's get you some fresh air.
You all right, kiddo?
What is wrong with you?
He had no right.
And you do? I don't need your fucking help, Joel.
Right.
There's a flashback where it clearly shows that Joel cares about Ellie and.
You don't just leave me a goddamn note.
But she pulls back, demands truth, and demands the truth about the day what happened at the hospital. And
I'll go back. But we're done.
He tells her that she had to die, unbeknownst to her. It's that she had to die to make the cure. No one discussed it with her. No one gave her the choice. She was going into that surgery and operating room to expecting to wake up, right? They were out to kill her, and instead of reacting like a normal person, she disowns Joel because, all the memories of the museum, guitar playing, teaching her how to swim, moving out. Yeah, fuck all of that, Joel. You're dead to me. Which I particularly think that is, and pretty much treats him like shit for a year or years, for 2 years, at least a year. And which I think is pretty much of an absolute gross overreaction. There was no discussion of it like an adult would, Brian, she's a teenager, she's acting like a rebellious teenager. Well, she's not your typical teenager. She survived and seen and done things that a typical teenager would. If you have experience such turmoil at a young age, you mature a lot faster. He has gone through things, so therefore she has matured quite a bit, but she's acting, for some reason in this game, she's acting like a child. Like really like a child. She's an adult, but she's a child. Bizarre, because in the first game she was a child but did adult things like kill people, but in this one she's an adult but she has the mentality for a child. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, but bruh, she has survival skill. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that she wanted to die, all right, and sacrifice herself for a bunch of randos. You're all just pulling that one out of your fucking ass. They never give it to us. They may imply it, they may, but it's never. They may be a little ambiguous about it, but they never said surely, all right? What we do know is that they never gave her the choice. The Fireflies made it for her. And we all know that is murder. That is, at least at the very least, attempted murder. The Fireflies, by the way, the Fireflies were not saints. They were terrorists. They were a militia. They committed atrocities and killed numerous civilians, and they were willing to do it again for the sake of the goal. They were willing to kill a 14-year-old girl. They were willing to kill a 14-year-old girl. I know that some people think that Abby was justified for her actions. You know, the girl who encouraged her father to kill a 14-year-old girl without her consent. But they kind of overlooked the fact that in the first game, they addressed that the World Health Organization and all the governments of the world, with all their money and their budget and their high-tech facilities, could not come with a cure or a vaccine in time. But a doctor, some doctor in a university somewhere, will be able to come up with the cure. All they needed was a 14-year-old girl. All you gotta do, all I need is a 14-year-old girl. Okay, just give me I'm just gonna yank it out of her. We stick it in milk, we spin it out, bam, cure. What's up? Save the world. That's not this is like that didn't make sense to me. That seems a little odd. They were not saints. They were in fact not justified. They got what they deserved. There was no cure, and I totally agree with Joel, and I think his actions were, matter of fact, justified. Whatever, that all this kind of like Ellie misses all these facts, right? You know, Joel tried to discuss it with her, try to tell her that, listen, you're gonna have to die, you know, but Fireflies, in fear that she may say no and try to leave, they held him at gunpoint. So everything Joel did was in self-defense and was justified. But not according to Ellie. Instead of talking about it like an adult, she hates him and writes him off completely and treats him and emotionally abuses him like shit. It's still ice cream. Despite of everything I just said here, it's still ice cream. They're still giving me ice cream, okay? But now, I know that a lot of people think that Ellie's story is about revenge, but what I think more about it is that I think it's more about accepting death. I think it's about grief, and mostly regret than revenge. It's all about the flashbacks. If you pay really attention, now the flashbacks, I don't count the beginning flashback that you see with him playing the guitar. The flashbacks don't start, the real flashbacks don't start until after the death of Joel. That's when there are 5 flashbacks. During the flashbacks, you see good memories of Joel and bad, and one of them, you see her treating him like crap after discovering the truth, because at the time she didn't fully understand why he did what he did, and it wasn't until after he died that she finally understood him, and she regrets that the most. She regrets treating him like crap, emotionally torturing him just like Abby did, but on an emotional level, and she regrets it. And I think there's a lot of regret coming from Ellie, and makes her extremely depressed. I think she understands how ungrateful she was for it, especially when she was held down. You know how the situation has reversed here. In the first game, at the end of the first game, she was unconscious, surrounded by killers, and Joel came in, killed everybody, and saved her, right? Now, the situation at the beginning of this game has reversed. Now, Joel is unconscious, surrounded by killers, and Ellie has no power to stop it. This is the moment where she finally understood Joel, and she regrets it. And in that moment, she regrets it, and she ultimately hates herself for it because it had to take her to be in the same position of Joel. It had to realize what you would do to save someone you cared about. And but in this situation, she was powerless and helpless to change it, and she had to watch someone that she cared about die. And she understood him and understood why he did what he did, and what she understood what lengths one would go to save another that they care about. And that moment completely broke Ellie, and she goes out on a quest for revenge, mostly because she hates herself because of the regret. Her fuel is regret, and it's not out of anger. If it is, it's mostly for herself and for realizing too late. So Ellie's story in The Last of Us Part 2 was her journey through the 5 stages of grief. She was unable to forgive Joel, and she absolutely regrets it. And she hates herself for it. She had to forgive Abby because she knows if she doesn't, she's going to hate herself even more. And that's why she didn't kill Abby. And I didn't like it. It didn't make sense to me. It's goes against human nature. It's extremely unrealistic. I know everybody keeps saying realistic. This is a realistic world. Realistic things happen. Joel died. It's realistic. Yeah, but for someone to go to emotionally invest, to be so obsessed with revenge, and to go how many miles, to go so far, to kill how many people, to kill so many people, and then to pull back at the last second is incredibly unrealistic. But it is what it is. This is a story they wanted to tell. This is the Joel and Elle story. It's not a great story, but you know what? Despite the fact that he gets brutally burned, I'm not angry about that. It's still ice cream, bro. It's still ice cream. It's melted. You know, the fact that he got killed and murdered, it's got me a little heated. Melted the ice cream a bit. But you know what? It's still fucking ice cream. That's still a Joel and Ellie story. But is it just a Joel and Ellie story? No!
Surprise, motherfucker.
This is where Abby comes in. This is her story. And now this game is trying to tell you, trying to send you a message. Really send you a message now. A revenge story. While trying to teach you empathy by punching you repeatedly in the face by using your own fist. This is where it becomes emotionally manipulative, and it tries to pull a lot of cheap shots, and then people are fucking surprised that we notice. It's Abby's 10-hour playthrough. He spends a lot of time trying to gaslight you and convince you that Abby is a good person, and her actions are justified.
Joel, fucking get up!
We did good back there.
Joel, please get up!
Look at Abby's father. He is a loving father. He saves and frees zebras. Don't you feel bad? How do you feel? Do you feel? It's all about feeling here. This is where you come to the ice cream feeling shop. All sorts of emotions. Hold up. I just wanted ice cream, dude. What are you doing? I didn't want no extra fucking toppings. I just wanted ice cream. I don't need you to put me unnecessary toppings on this ice cream. Look, they have backgrounds. They look at them getting friendly and along with other people. Look at them having hopes and dreams. They're just as human as you and me. Yeah. So what? Why do I care? I don't care about them. I don't. They really try to put all sorts of extra toppings on this ice cream and then force feed you and expect you to like it. That's not how it works. If I had to describe this game, I would say it's one big giant circle jerk of empathy. It really is. You're the giver and you're the receiver, and for whatever particular reason, the people at Naughty Dog or the people who wrote this expects you to mouth wide and just fucking take it, and then be all like, I understood why you did that. I understand you because I was in your shoes. I understand. We all understand one another. I forgive you, sir, for what you did. I didn't like what you did, but I forgive you. Was it as deep for you as it was for me? Actually, Bill, it was a little deeper. But I caught all the profound. There's deep and there's profound, and I got both of it. And therefore, 10 out of 10, this was an excellent game. And anybody who disagrees with me, they're either a bigot, entitled, didn't play it, or just didn't get it. I'm definitely not getting a sense of superiority from people who enjoyed the game at all. At all. So as I was playing Abby's 10-hour playthrough, and the more the story went on, the more I started to think that this game is more about replacing Joel and Ellie with Abby and Lev as the new faces of the series, as the new protagonists of future games. And I didn't like that. I'll say this: Abby and Lev would have made a great story as a standalone game, but I don't think in the Last of Us Part 2 universe it would have been like The Last of Us Part 2 could have been entirely about Abby's background, Lev, and story. And turns out the person whose father that died was Joel, and then she forgives him at the end. That would have been a great story. That would have made a great story. Everybody would have loved. No splitting of the fan base here. Everybody would have loved Abby and Lev, but instead. We don't get that, do we? Instead, what they had to do was completely destroy Joel and Ellie, outshine them. They had to be better than them. They had to be better. And essentially, they're just trying to replace Joel and Ellie with the father-daughter relationship with the mother-son relationship. And dude, I fucking noticed. I saw the parallels, and I'm supposed to like that? I don't give a fuck about them. You could have introduced them in a completely different way. I didn't like the fact that you had to come in, burn everything down for us to introduce these new characters. You didn't have to do that, but that's what they did. That's what they did. And then there's like this message about revenge. You know, it costs everything. The cost of revenge is too high. You'll lose everything. Everybody dies. You know, sure. But we see that revenge affecting Ellie more than it does Abby. Abby particularly has a disconnect from her actual friend. She didn't care about Mel dying. Not a single tear came out of her when Mel was killed, but she did cry and weep for Owen. So particularly all her friends dying and losing everything, not so much. Abby didn't go through the emotional turmoil that Ellie went through. And instead she was like, oh, that's so sad. Okay, whatever. And then they left. Yeah, she got caught later trying and got tortured for 2 months, but we don't see that. We don't see that at all. And by the time you reach her, she's, you know, a shell of her former self, whatever. They force you to play a character that you don't want to play, and it was incredibly jarring. Dude, fuck this bitch, bro. Fuck this shit, dude. Like, this is fucking irritating me. No, this is how it should end right here, with Abby fucking dying. Yeah, that's exactly how this game should have ended. Credits roll, Naughty Dog comes up. Instead, I have to actually fight Ellie. It wasn't fun. And it's a lesson in empathy, bruh. I don't give a shit about that. What the fuck? I don't play video games to be taught. There are other stories out there that does revenge stories better, you know, and I don't particularly think this is one of them. And none of them requires me punching myself in the face to do it. And they force you to play a character you don't want to play. When you play as a character, you want them to survive. You want to see their journey and how they overcome and rise above adversity. But when I was playing as Abby, my reaction time was slow. She died an awful lot. This is not fun for me. Oh, damn. I guess it's the emotion people enjoy this. It was like, oh my god, I'm so conflicted. I have all these emotions. There's no emotions. I'm just extremely irritated that fucking I have to fight Ellie and win. Like, am I supposed to feel bad for Abby or something? Like, am I supposed to want Abby to live? I don't. This is just extremely stupid. Like, I don't even want to dodge. Like, I have no incentive or motivation for Abby to live. I really don't. And I don't understand why this is great storytelling and why this is a masterpiece. I didn't dodge as quickly as I should, and it actually took me a lot longer than it should have to beat the shit out of Ellie. And I'm supposed to, whatever, this is supposed to be fun. This is, they want you to go through an emotional torment. They want you to do an emotional conflict. They want you to be torn. Why the fuck? All I wanted was ice cream, bro. This is all I wanted was ice cream. What is this? This is spinach. This is spinach. I don't like spinach. I don't like spinach. I've never liked spinach. Ever since I was a kid, my mom tried to make me eat spinach. I don't like it. And now you're trying to literally force feeding spinach down my throat. I don't like spinach. All I wanted was ice cream, and you introduced spinach with a smaller can of spinach, and I'm supposed to eat it. Dude, this would have been completely fine. Abby and Lev are fine, excellent characters. They would have been completely fine if they introduced them in a completely different way. After that 10-hour gameplay of us forcing this play as the villain, trying to get under her and understand her, trying to understand why her actions are justified, trying to get some parallels between Joel and Ellie and Abby and Lev. Like, I didn't fucking catch that. I saw that. I saw that. You're trying to add shit on my ice cream that I didn't want. This game deserves all the love and hate that it gets, and I completely understand. You know, all I wanted was a Joel and Elle story. I didn't want an Abby and Lev story. I didn't want that. That's not what I came to the store for. And you surprised me with it, and it was spinach. It was all spinach, and I don't like spinach. There's really nothing else I can say. Story, narrative-wise, it's incredibly pretentious. It just went off into the deep end, trying to force players and trying to force gamers to go through some emotional rabbit hole, go deeper and deeper down, trying to find something more deep and profound. I don't give a shit about that. I'm trying to make it some sort of art and masterpiece. Dude, I hang around with directors. I hang around with the screenwriters. I know how they think. They're always trying to create some sort of grandiose, self-indulgent, pretentious writing that will stand above time. They always try to do this. That's what every writer wants. They want to stand above all others when it comes to literature and when it comes to storytelling, and they're a fan of it. I don't like it. Like some people, it's like we're all both looking at a piece of art at a music gallery, and it's like, this is a masterpiece. Like a child did this. It looks like no, it's a masterpiece. It's 10 out of 10. It deserves 25,000. Really? Because anybody could have put a freaking banana taped to a wall. Anybody could have done that. No, it's an art. It's masterpiece. Okay. Fine, all right, whatever. While you look at it as masterpiece, as an art, I look at that as a banana taped to a wall, and I don't think it's worth $25,000. Yeah, that's a real thing, by the way. You can look it up. Some artist literally tried to tape banana to a wall and try to pass it off as art. And this is what it is. It just it went too much. It went too much. It went too deep, trying to tell you 3, 4, or 5 different kind of storylines, try to put 4 or 5 or different layers into it. And honestly, it's okay. I mean, it's okay. It deserves all the love and hate that it gets. At the end of the day, I particularly was not a fan. I became disconnected to the universe, to the lore, to this ice cream shop. So the number one thing that I hated more than anything about this game is that they killed Ellie. They killed Joel, and people are really angry and mad about it. I'm not mad about that, because it's still, you know, like I said earlier about the 5 stages of grief, that was still going to be a Joel and Ellie story. I always thought he was going to die in the first one trying to save Ellie. I thought that was it. That would still have been a Joel and Ellie story, but you didn't, did you? Instead, you introduced other characters that no one ever cared about, and forced us to play those characters, trying to teach us a lesson in humanity and empathy. When all we really wanted was fucking ice cream, dude. For you to uplift those other brand new characters, you had to push another character down. And when I mean this other character, I mean specifically Ellie. I enjoyed Ellie in the first game. I thought she was strong, level-headed. She was compassionate, somewhat kind. You know, she was strong for a 14-year-old kid. You know, that same kid, when Joel was knocked out, passed out, hunters were coming, with no hesitation whatsoever, she was like, I'm gonna lead them away, and went off, started kicking adults' ass. That was amazing. That was a strong character. Ellie was a strong character. In this game, she is not a strong character. She's the complete opposite of a strong character. She's insecure, she's reserved, she's shy, she's anxious, she's everything I wasn't expecting her to be. She was spinach, bro. She was spinach. And I'm like, okay, maybe she'll overcome this. Maybe she'll rise above her trauma and maybe or whatever. But even at the party, she was reserved. She was shy. This is not the Ellie I remember. Why is she acting like some sort of teenager from a CW show? Like, what is this? She went through a lot of shit. She has overcome a lot of adversity in the first game. Why is she acting like a typical teenager in this game? Shy and reserved. It makes no sense. I expected her to be confident. I expected her to be sure. Yeah, she may have a little rift going between her and Joel and everything, but she still should have been confident, secure. Not what I saw in Last of Us Part 2. She was anxious, insecure, doubted herself, just not the strong Ellie I was expecting in this game. You know, in the trailer where she said she was going to kill everybody? That was strong. I expected to see this character. Instead, all I got from beginning to end was a weak Ellie, was an anxious Ellie who doubted herself every step though. Yeah, but she was going through the 5 stages. Yeah, I completely understand that. But bro, the fact that you made her weak in the process, but you really broke her at the end of the game. She didn't even finish. She was not determined. She didn't even go through what she had weak resolve. She was not determined. She was not a strong character. You completely destroyed Ellie. Instead, Abby was everything that I thought Ellie would be. And I just sat there like, why? Why did you have to destroy this? Why did you have to like spit in my fucking ice cream to introduce a new flavor? A spinach flavor. Why, bro? Why? Abby and Lev are excellent, fine characters in a standalone game, but they make for a shitty sequel. They did. Again, I'll say it again. They would have been a great story if you found out that you're playing in Last of Us Part 2. You're not playing as Joel and Ellie. You're playing as Abby and Lev. Blah blah blah. She's on a quest for revenge. Turns out, you know, it's Joel, and then she forgives him or she kills him. It doesn't matter. It still would have been great. But instead, for you to uplift these two characters, you have to destroy the previous two. And don't think I didn't catch the parallels between those two characters. Father-daughter relationship. Now you got a pseudo mother-son relationship. Ha ha! You see that? See what we did here? Why are you so attached to the previous characters? We're just going to destroy them in front of you while you and we're going to make you do it. Yeah, I didn't like that. I particularly don't like that. Again, it's not a masterpiece in my eyes, and we can both see a banana taped to a wall, and some people go, yeah, that's worth $25,000. That is art. That's a masterpiece. But for me, particularly, I look at it and no, that's just a banana taped to a wall. It's not that great. It's spinach, bro. It's spinach, and I'm not a fan of spinach. I'll say it again 1,000 times. It's just not fun. I find the story to be a self-indulgent, grandiose film project made and written by a first-year film student with a AAA budget. If you watch any short film from any film student anywhere, you'll find that it reminds me. It just reeks of a film student from a film school. It really does. I think this storyline would have made for a great movie, but I do not think it makes for a great game, especially when it comes to sequel. Maybe a standalone game, but not a sequel. Not a sequel at all. You're just completely disregarding previous lore, fans, consumers. Consumers are extremely important. The people who buy stuff, they're expecting something, and I'm not saying you give them exactly everything that they want, but you have a general idea of what they want, and for you to not give them any of what they wanted at all, and instead you just completely throw everything away, and then present us with something else that we were not expecting, that we didn't want, especially, and expect us to like it. It's just an odd choice. It's a very extremely odd creative choice. It really is. And whether or not you like this game or not, I think it's largely dependent on whether or not you think Joel is evil or not. Because I think people who side with Joel, who sympathize or empathize with Joel, who think that he did the right thing at the end of the first game, I think they're going to go into this game and I think they're going to hate it. But I think those people are indifferent, or people who think that Joel is evil and he got what he deserved, everything, especially with Ellie's emotional abuse. I think I think they may come into this game and I think they may love it. And I'm on the side of I think Joel was right. I think he was correct. He made the right decision at the end of the first one. And I think this is a huge slap to my face and of where I expected this story to go. At the end of the game, I was completely uninterested. I no longer had any love for Ellie, and when it came to Abby, I no longer hated her, but I didn't like her either. I just didn't care. I simply didn't, and that's sad, dude. I liked the first one, but for me to completely alienate and isolate your fan base like that, for whatever particular reason, subverting expectations and killing off characters is like the Game of Thrones. This is exciting, this is fun, this is dark, edgy, it needs to be dark and edgy. They try to force you to like something or try to see it from someone else's perspective, this empathy, the lesson of humanity and all that jazz. That's not what I came for in Uncharted. This is not what I came for in a Naughty Last of Us Part 2 for. Like I said, I wanted a Joel and Ellie story, not a goddamn lesson in humanity or some deep, profound thought. Like there are a lot of revenge stories who have done this better, who have taught us that revenge isn't worth it kind of story. There's plenty of them out there who's done it a lot better. If it was just stuck on Joel and Ellie, it would have completely been, this game would have been great. I think it would have been a masterpiece. That the stages of acceptance would have been great. Instead, they had to destroy two characters, uplifted it two brand new ones, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. That's not what I came to this ice cream parlor for. I wanted ice cream. Instead, you gave me all sorts of spinach that I didn't want. All sorts of unnecessary toppings. And bro, you know what? You know what it made me at the end of the game? I used to like this ice cream parlor. I did. I enjoyed it. But if I drove by and I saw it in flames, I wouldn't feel anything for it. I wouldn't care. I'm just not interested anymore. I wouldn't miss it. And that's how I felt by the end of the game. I didn't care. I didn't care about Ellie. And I didn't care about Abby, because at first I hated Abby, and then I didn't care about her. And then I liked Abby, and then I didn't care about her. So congratulations. If this is what the writers and the creators at Naughty Dog were hoping for, then dude, bravo to you. Bravo to you. You succeeded in me not giving a fuck about your universe and about your characters. So, I mean, I guess it is a 10 out of 10. But with that said, let me say all the good stuff about the game. The graphics, the animations, the little tiny little details they put in this game are straight fantastic. The technical aspects of this world, Naughty Dog is amazing when it comes to that. It just, all of their games have been pretty, since the first Uncharted, I've been extremely impressed with their emotions, with their animations, their acting, their storytelling, and it's always been high up there for me. But in this game, what I thought was a little of a bit of a letdown was the story, because they try to put too much into it. They try to force feed you to do into it, and they try to force you to like something that you knew that people wasn't going to like. I can see people who are a huge fan of Joel and Ellie. It's like they went in there hoping to emotionally abuse you, and it's an extremely narcissistic game. It really is. I'm just like sitting there thinking, am I the only one who sees what they're doing here? Like, and for me, when people are trying to be emotionally abusive or emotionally manipulative, I see that and I get irritated, annoyed. I think I'm talking too much and I think I'm missing a lot of points, but the point of the matter is that I wanted ice cream, I got spinach, and I didn't like it. But yeah, I think that's about as simple as I could get it. But with that said, even despite the graphics, and the graphics were great, the gameplay for the most part was in fact great, despite the fact that I had to play as Abby and everything. Or it was definitely lacking, but even if you add up all the points, it's still somewhere in the 8.3 range. Let's say 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 20, 20. I would probably give this, the story itself, I'll give it a 5. I'll probably give it a 5. And that 5 goes all to Ellie and Joel's part. So with 5, so let's say 10, 10, 20, 20, so it's what, 25 out of 30. That may still be an 8.3. Yeah, I was spot on. Look at that. Well, that's a 8.3. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, and I don't think it's like the worst unplayable game ever, but for the most part, I see it. I see all the points. I understand what they were trying to do and everything, but bro, I really sometimes really dislike creative people, or extremely artists. I'm more of artists because they go out trying to create the most artistic thing they could potentially think of, and it gets extremely pretentious on the way. And I think this is one of those games. But despite that, it's still an 8.3 for me. It's still a good game in the sense that it's still fun to play. So shout out to the dev team. You guys made like awesome animations, awesome gameplay moments, and like I didn't like Abby, but that hospital was fun. That hospital and the bottom of the hospital was extremely fun for me. But still, I didn't like Abby. I didn't like the way the story was going. I didn't like what they tried to do. I didn't like how they force you to do this. I didn't like how they try to send me a message, try to teach me a lesson in humanity, try to teach me that revenge, and to try to teach me all sorts of fucking shit, and I didn't fucking like it. All I wanted was ice cream, and you guys added all sorts of shit on my ice cream, unnecessary things, and most of it was spinach. I don't like spinach. Really, you can put all sorts of ice cream on spinach, it's still gonna taste nasty, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. You really killed Ellie. You really did. You made her everything I didn't think she was going to be in this game. And instead you introduced a new character who was everything I thought Ellie was going to be, and yeah, and I didn't like that at all. You literally don't have to burn down a freaking house to build up a new one. You can just, introduce another house in another neighborhood. I think we could get along just fine. But no, you burnt down my house and then built another one right on top of it, and you expect me to like it. I didn't like that. I can put all sorts of analogies and metaphors here, people, but I hope I got what I wanted to say about this game. Again, it's still fun. There's still a lot of on a technical level, this is a great game, but story-wise, I think it was trash. Legitimately, I just not what I came for, and the whole, making your fan base divisive. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. I don't know why it's so dark and edgy to do this. Just wanted you to question the world around you. The only thing I question is why the fuck did I play this game? Why did I care in the first place? What was the point? I did not walk away with some sort of self-profound thought that uplifted me and transcended my mind above the masses. None of that happened for me. It was extremely irritating. I just felt incredibly unsatisfied and pretty much indifferent about the whole entire thing, about the entire ice cream shop, and it is what it is. So that's my rating, 8.3. That is my review of this game. It deserves all the love, and it also deserves all the hate, but for me, I walked away feeling incredibly indifferent about this game, and that's a shame. I don't care about the universe. I don't care about anything about it. And Brian, you gotta go through the 5 stages of grief. They wanted you as a character to go through the 5 stages of grief. Fuck off. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Ugh, just so annoying. It wasn't. I'm not gonna be excited for part 3 for sure, because I know Abby and Lev are going to play a bigger part in it, because that's what their intention was to kill off Joel and Ellie. This is my takeaway. Was that the whole point was to kill Joel and Ellie and introduce Abby and Lev, and they would have been fantastic characters if they were introduced in a completely different way. But for me, that's not what I came for. That's not the ice cream flavor. That's not the ice cream flavor that I was expecting. I don't understand. What I don't understand is, why do you have to destroy something to introduce new things? It's weird. It's weird to me. But again, it's still an 8.3. Let me know what you think about it. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I childish? Feel free to gaslight me in any way possible, because the game has already done this enough. Just like I said, how this game was trying to gaslight you and try to convince you that Abby is a good person. I thought that was interesting, because it reflects the current times, where someone disagrees with you. If they don't like your opinion, they're going to make you feel bad. Oh, you don't agree with me? Oh, so you must be childish. You must not get it. You're not intelligent enough. I am an intelligent person enough. I understood all points. Therefore, this game is a masterpiece. You inferior intellect, did not get it. That's completely understandable. You're childish and immature. If you keep patting yourself on the back, you might pull a muscle. My God. Let's take it easy, bro. Don't hurt yourself. And with that said, I'm that guy, Bry, and this was my latest discussion of The Last of Us Part 2. These were my thoughts. These were my opinions. This is my takeaways. Was what I ultimately got out of it. And and why I don't really care anymore. So peace out, everybody. Until next time, cheers. It really is